Welcome back to a new series of the Rebbe's Verbringen 5712. We are starting a brand new Verbringen today of the Rebbe. God willing, it will be split up, Ezras Hashem, into 3 parts. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like the video, the podcast, to give us encouragement and continuing us to spread the words of Chassidus and the words of the Rebbe outwards to the world. This Farbrengen is for Shabbos Parshas Chukas and Balak. There were 2 parshas together that year. And Shabbos, the day of Shabbos, was Yud Beis Tammuz, which is the day that the Frierdiker Rebbe, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, was freed, say, from jail, from not good environments, was taken into prison for spreading Chassidus, building mikvahs, and sharing Torah with others. And on this day, he was freed. And it's a very, very special day. The Rebbe started off this Farbrengen on Shabbos by making Kiddush and encouraging those that were there to say L'chaim. And the Rebbe started off the Farbrengens with saying a Maimer. Now, after the Maimer, the Rebbe connects something very, very interesting and connects Purim together with Yud Beis Tammuz, Yud Beis Yud Gimel Tammuz. Why is that? Purim, as we know, has a very, very special Maila, something unique that no other Yom Tovim have. And that is the joy, as we know, on Purim has to be without any boundaries. It has to be even what the Chazal tell us, that a person needs to rejoice so much that till he doesn't even know the difference between Mordechai and Haman. But when it comes to all the other Yom Tovim, they did have limitations as to how much of the Simcha could it get. And the Simcha was with limitations, was with boundaries. More than that, we know that when it's coming to the time of Mashiach, the Yom Tif of Purim is not going to be Nizbata, it's not going to be nullified, and we're still going to rejoice on this day. And the reason for this is because at the darkest times of Golus, we had a special point of Mesiras Nefesh that happened at Purim time, and because of that, we had this, so to speak, Geula in the times of Golus because of Mesiras Nefesh, and therefore it is without limitations, and that's why it is not going to be nullified at the time when Mashiach comes. That's why we're always going to go and have it. So the Rebbe is comparing it so to Yud Beis Tammuz. This is a Yom Tif that was neschadish at the time of Golus, right? It's something new. It's a Yom Tif that we have new in this time of Golus. And more than that, our hiskashus to the Rebbe has to be so much even greater than a father to a son, and even greater than a teacher to a student. And this Yom Tif and this Geula of Yud Beis Tammuz for each and every person. And our joy on this day, connecting so much to the Rebbe, is without any limitations, just like Purim. Now, a person shouldn't think of what other people are going to tell me with what I am doing, and maybe even our own Nefesh HaBahamis is going to go and get involved and maybe discourage us from doing it. But nevertheless, this joy has to be in a way of higher than any limitations, and nothing can get in our way. they said a lot of the Rebbe encouraged everyone to say L'chaim again and to sing a very, very freiliche niggin. Then the Rebbe continues that there are those people that come to shul only on Rosh Hashanah. There are those that only come to shul on Yom Kippur. There are those that only come Shabbos. And then there are those that don't have a title of when they necessarily come to shul. Sometimes they are found learning their entire day in shul. So too, when it came to coming to the Rebbe, there were those that had a specific time or a specific reason to go and come to the Rebbe, and there are those that found a lot. As it says that there was a chassid, Reb Elia Yechel Simpson, that would always, for those that were always around, he encouraged them to go and come to the Rebbe. And for sure, not only coming to the Rebbe when a person has a tzara, when something Chas v'Shalom is happening to him, but he's always also coming to the Rebbe to be, in other words, in a good oifin and at a good time. In regards to what are we saying this? There are those that didn't necessarily always come by to the Rebbe's Farbrengens, and especially that Yud Beis Tammuz is on Shabbos, and the next day is going to be Sunday, which is a day of vacation. There are those that had Mesiras Nefesh to go and show up to the Farbrengen. Also, if Yutas Kislev would be on Shabbos. And the Rebbe continues and says that obviously we know what we are talking about it. In other words, to encourage those that may not necessarily be coming to this, and we can say L'chaim to fix up the past, and with this go a step further and going more into our avodas Hashem higher than any limitations. Then, just to give a brief overview of the next two series of this Farbrengen. The next one is going to be discussing about more on the Parsha, and obviously the Rebbe connects it to the Moshe Rabbeinu. Then the Rebbe is going to finish off combining all what we had first spoken about to the parts of the Parsha and how it pertains to our life and how we can take lessons from this and go Mechayel El Chayil.